예, 짜잔. 그, 제가 듣고 있는 이소 클래스가 이제 온라인으로 수업한 지가 꽤 됐죠. 이제 2달 반이 좀 넘어가는 것 같은데, 2달이 다 돼가는 것 같아요. 그리고 종강을 앞두고 있고, 지난주에는 제가, 작은 녀석한테 잔소리하느라고 로그인을 하고 있다가, 오래간만에 로그인했더니 선생님이 수잔 B 앤토니라는 메시지를 주셨어요. 그래서 오늘은 이거 한번 읽어보고 선생님 숙제도 좀 하고 그러려고요. In many parts of the world nowadays, we take it for granted that women are allowed to vote. But back in the 1800s in the United States, many people believed this should be legal. If it hadn't been for some very determined people, women might not have been granted the right to vote. One of these people was Susan B. Anthony. Susan B. Anthony was born in 1820 in Adams, Massachusetts. Because her family belonged to the Quakerism, they always believed that all human beings should be treated equally. In fact, several of Susan's 7 siblings all grew up to become activists. Anthony started out as a teacher, but by the age of 17, she began to advocate for the right of slaves. She was also part of the temper, temperance movement. 술 안 마시는 운동이잖아. Temperance movement, which means that she did not believe people should drink alcohol. Many people at the time believed women should not be involved in politics. In fact, Anthony was once kicked out of temperance conference because she was female. Anthony, who was stubborn and dedicated, did not give up. Her rival only inspired her to fight harder. By 1851, Anthony and her friend Elizabeth Cady Stanton began campaigning for women's suffrage of the next 50 years. The two women made inspiring speeches all over the United States, started a women's rights newspaper called the Revolution, and created the American Equal Rights Association. When the United States government finally passed amendment allowing black men to vote in 1868 and 1870, Anthony and Stanton could not believe that women were still not being included. Anthony and her female colleague, female colleague, were more determined than ever to win the constitutional right to vote. So they created the National Woman Suffrage Association. Eventually, this led to the incident and incident that Anthony is most famous for. In 1872, she showed up at the polls and attempted to vote because this was illegal. Antonio was arrested and fined $100, but she refused to pay. This controversial, this controversial, this event, controversial event, this controversial event brought national attention to the women's suffrage movement. Suffrage movement. Susan B. Anthony continued to campaign for women's rights until the end of her life. For example, she convinced the University of Rochester to accept women as a student in 1900. Unfortunately, she died just 14 years before the 19th Amendment finally gave women the right to vote in 1920. If she had been if she had been alive to see it, Antonia would have been overjoyed that all her hard work that all her hard work had finally paid off. Her legacy was rather immortalized. What? 같이 하지. Her legacy was rather immortalized in 1979 by the U.S. government when a silver $1 coin was created using her image. Independence is happiness, Susan B. Anthony. Did you know the United States wasn't the only place where women were fighting for the right to vote? In fact, of all the countries that exist today, the U.S. was only the ninth to allow women to vote. The first country to allow women to vote was New Zealand in 1893. After they came Australia in 1802, land in 1902, Finland in 1906, Norway in 1913, Denmark in 1915, and Canada in 1970. 그래서 좀 더 읽어야겠다. 요거 패시지만 읽는데 5분 정도 걸리는 게 맞아서 다시 한번 읽어볼게 주겠고. 네. Immoralize incident. Controversial. Politics. Temperance movement. Okay. In many parts of the world nowadays, we take it for granted that women are allowed to vote. But back in the 1800s in the United States, many people believed this should not be legal. If it hadn't been for some very determined people, women's rights that have been granted the right to vote. One of these people was Susan B. Anthony. Susan B. Anthony was born in 1820 in Adams, Massachusetts. Because her family belonged to the Quaker religion. They always believed that all human beings should be treated equally. In fact, several of Wilson's seven siblings also grew up to become activists. Anthony started out as a teacher, but by the age of 17, she began to advocate, educate, to advocate for the slaves, right of slaves. Of the temperance movement, which means that she did not believe people should drink alcohol. Many people at the time believed one should be involved in politics. In fact, Anthony was kicked out of um, temperance conference because she was female. Anthony, who was stubborn and dedicated, did not give up. Her rival only inspired her to fight harder. By 1851, Anthony and her friend Elizabeth Cady Stanton began campaigning for women's suffrage over the next next 50 years. The two women made inspiring speeches all over the United States, started a woman's rights newspaper called the Revolution and created the American Equal Rights Association. When the United States government finally passed the amendment allowing black men to vote in 1868 and 1870, Anthony and Stanton could not believe that women were still not being included. Anthony and her female colleagues were more than ever to win the constitutional right to vote. So they created the National Women's Suffrage Association. Eventually, this led, the, this led to the incident that Anthony is most famous for. In 1872, she showed up at the polls and attempted to vote. Because this was illegal, and Anthony was arrested and fined $100, but she refused to pay. This controversial this controversial event brought national attention to the women's suffrage movement. Susan B. Anthony continued to campaign for women's rights until the end of her life. For example, she convinced the University of Rochester to accept women as students in 1900. Unfortunately, she died just 14 years before the 19th Amendment finally gave women the right to vote in 1920. If she had been alive to see it, Anthony would have been overjoyed that all her hard work had finally paid off. Her legacy was later immortalized in 1979 by the U.S. government when a silver $1 coin was created using her energy. Thank you.